Well, if Toycember is going to cover a Rock Lord, I guess it's only fair to cover a Gobot at some point too. So we're going to take a look at this one. This is the Renegade Stinger. And I know what you're thinking. Oh no, it's gold plastic from the 80s. You're going to be surprised. So for starters, let's just kind of take a look at him. He is appropriately an 80s style Corvette. And looking like a pretty nice one, too. Obviously, the only thing really painted are going to be the windshield, which is a little bit disappointing. So nothing in the grille and nothing on the rear. Gobots were, a little bit less detailed than Transformers, so it's nothing to be surprised. I do like the overall shape of the vehicle, though. I mean, it's a Corvette, like it's made to look like a really fast car. Spoiler in the back helps with that as well. But it's still fairly nicely sculpted. You got little details that are sculpted in pretty well, like the top of the headlights are done, little grooves for where the door handles are going to be, license plate spot in the back. Also, we should point out rubber tires, which thankfully have stayed intact for the length of this toy's existence, which does mean that he rolls very, very well. It looks like the axle might be a little bit bent, but hey, the wheels still work. And because 80s and because Gobot, a little bit of die-cast. So he actually does have some good weight to him. So like back in the day, this would have been a really good rolling around kind of car, transformer-y style vehicle. Speaking of which, we need to transform, and this is where I really like Stinger. This is where I really start to like this toy a lot. So we start by extending the legs. And now here's the fun part on this not transformer. I'm going to rotate things like so. And then we're going to rotate out the feet by pushing the tires in. That's going to give us something to stand on. Unique little transformation step there. The rest up here is a little bit more typical, where he just kind of like rotates the double hinges the sides of the car down to form the arms, and then that folds up the head. I guess that should be on screen when I do that. There you go. And that's going to give you Stinger in his robot mode. So like most Gobots, it's a fairly simple level of transformation, but pretty good one. It actually has a few steps that are unique to Gobots, and actually pretty well done. You know what would be better is if I remembered the last step, which is a very healthy yank on the hips to get them out all the way. Which when you see me shaking to get these out, that means they are very stuck, which is going to freak a lot of people out because gold plastic. But take a look. Unbroken. Everything fine. Yeah, so as it turns out, it's not all gold plastic that actually goes bad on you. It's just if it's mixed badly, or if it's just a bad cheap batch, then yeah, it's gonna go the wrong way. But Stinger's absolutely fine. Doesn't hurt anything. So looking at the robot mode, he does have a few things that are very familiar as far as like a transforming robot toy goes. Obviously, the legs are very unique in the way they transform. But the chest itself does kind of have that Wheeljack-esque or Trax-esque look to him, ironically enough. The arms do end up looking quite a bit bulkier thanks to the rear section forming his shoulders, so he does have that going for him. Now, the fun thing about the toy is that this is actually not a Japanese figure. He was not done in Machine Robo first. Tonka, back in the day, commissioned more molds specifically for the Gobot line, and this is one of them. So he's from the US first, and then from Japan later. Taking a closer look, like a lot of Gobots, he's got a chromed head with a very simple expression. Just mouth plate and red eye visor. Yeah, unfortunately, the one flaw to the Gobots that they seem to share a lot is more generic shapes of the head. I would like a little bit more personality, but I'll take what I can get. I still like the overall look. The die-cast metal in the legs actually adds a little bit of silver to the gold, so he comes across like a very regal color scheme, all things considered. For play value, you do have ball joints in the shoulders, as well as that hinge at the torso, giving him quite a bit more range of motion than you would normally expect for a Gobot. Kind of cool. And then you get a little bit of outward motion with the hips. They're hinged, but they don't really let me stretch it out in any way. So yeah, not much on the articulation really, but I know ball joints in an 80s toy is also just very unusual. Like I've mentioned, like I did a whole video about where Gobots actually did do some things better than Transformers. I think one of them was adopting the ball joint a lot earlier than Transformers did, which does give certain ranges of posability that the Transformers tended to lack back then. So all in all, yeah, very lovely toy, very surprisingly good Gobot. It's fun little transformation and gold plastic that actually handles being played with. I am going to thank the guys over at transformerland.com for being nice enough to send this one over as a surprise. It's a very lovely surprise. I'm very happy to have him in my Gobots collection. So I felt it is only appropriate that I get to share him with everybody for Toycember. So don't look down on the Gobots. Every now and then they do some unique stuff, and yeah, they're a little bit more than meets the... You know what? I'm done now.
Analysis complete. Adapting translators to local language.
Are you out there?